Hello, and welcome to another edition of Dale Simmons Photography Studios Product Review. Today we have the ultimate battery grip for the EOS 5D Mark II, and I say that without hesitation. This thing is the bomb. This is the Polaroid LCD with built-in intervalometer for time-lapse photography, and it works fantastic. And not only that, the battery grip itself has so many features that work well and beat out a lot of the drop door systems, and we're going to talk about that right now. Okay, let's take a look at this bad boy. I'll tell you what, this thing has got great body lines here. It has all the side features of the Canon and the operational features for autofocus on and off switch here. The shutter button on the side is not sloppy. It's really solid. It works extremely well. I've used every feature of this particular battery grip, and I'm so pleased with its operation. Its design itself, it's got great rubber mounting over here, and that the texture that they put on this thing is actually better than the camera itself. Loading wise, it's a breeze. You just get your battery door removed, you pop it in here, you screw it into the thing, and you're done and you're ready to go. Now, one of the great features I like about this over a lot of the other aftermarket ones, and even the Canon one, if you notice, there is no drop door here. Now, the problem with the little drop door system where you put your battery in, they're held in with two little plastic tabs on each side of the door. They have a tendency to break off. Now, I had an optical one that broke one, and then it broke one later on, and the only thing holding the battery drawer in, or the two batteries for the Canon batteries, were the pressure of the door closure itself. And then eventually, as I think started lifting it for vertical shots, it would just short the thing out, and it became useless. What I like about this Polaroid system is they have a side mounting system where you hit the door like that, and as you can see here, it drops down. It has a button release system, not a hold-in tab system. And the loading is simple, and I'm going to show you that right now. What comes with this is a really cool tray system in here, and it kind of just, you hit your battery and just pop it, you push a little bit and they drop out, as you can see here. And then you have your contact points that are right here on the deal. Now I'll tell you what, you just line up the contact points with your battery, you just pop it in there just like your charger. You know how you kind of put it at a little bit of a off angle here and then just push. And that one's all locked into place, as you can see here. Now to load this is really simple, and I love this side door system. You make sure your contacts go in first, you just push this thing in, it locks in. If you notice, it's already locked into place and the door has no pressure against it. Close the door and you're ready to go. You're ready to fire. To install this, you just replace your door, and one of the things I wanted to tell you, you remove your door off your 5D, and it has a slot for it right here where you can drop the door in so you don't lose your door. Now to install it is really simple. You just line it up like this, push it, you'll see a thumb screw system down here which screws into your tripod mount. You just lock it into place and there you go, you're ready to fire. And this thing works effortlessly, I'll tell you, it's fabulous. Now, we're going to talk about the intervalometer now and how to set this thing, because one of the drawbacks that Polaroid did not do a very good job on instructing you how to use this intervalometer. Now, one of the things is the intervalometer. To me, that's what makes this battery grip so attractive for purchase. The cost is $80-something, which beats the heck out of the Canon one, which is $230 or $330. I'm not sure what it is. But I'll tell you, the intervalometer aspects of this thing works like a charm. Also with your purchase comes its infrared remote, and I'll tell you what, I have yet, and still to date, and I'm going to try again right now, I'm going to point it right at it, I have yet to get this thing to work. And I'm pressing the button. I know the battery's good, I checked it, I just can't get it to work, but I'm going to be honest with you, I don't care. I didn't get it for this, and if I'm doing remote shooting, I'm going a different direction as far as wireless remote and radio systems instead of infrared. So that kind of, that particular item, if I were Polaroid, I'd take it off the market. Just leave the intervalometer. One of the main features and the selling features of this, along with the side mounting system and the way that they constructed this, is absolutely perfect. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the intervalometer. The intervalometer, and I'm going to turn this thing around just a little bit and zoom in. Okay, for demonstration purposes, I have set this thing up for 5-second delay. And you can do this. Now, what it is you have you'll see here you have a delay, then the length, and then the interval itself. Now, that's the tricky part of getting this thing to work right, because you really want to be able to understand the setup. And again, in the instruction manual, they really didn't do a good job. So for display purposes, I'm going to go ahead and set this up again for a 5-second delay shoot. So one of the things you do is you just hit OK, and then you'll see a delay come up. And then you can set that by moving your arrows if you want 4 or 5. And you can see here, get my fingers out of the way. I've set it for 5 seconds. I say OK. Now I'm going to move to the delay. Let me get over to the delay here. Okay, the delay is 5 seconds. The length is 5 seconds. One of the things you want to make this thing do, unless you want to put a time lapse in between a time lapse, which is like an interval, you want to set your time lapse up and say you want to shoot every a minute timer, and you want to do that every 5 minutes. Now you can set it for 5 minutes, and then it'll delay a minute, and then it'll fire. I don't see the purpose in that. If I'm doing you know, that type of time lapse, I'm just going to set it for the same time and fire. So you don't want to have really a delay in there. So one of the things I've done here is in the interval, that's where they're going to ask you on how much time you want between intervals of shooting. I put 1 second because I don't want any delay. I want this thing to fire off about every 5 or 6 seconds in this particular example. So I say okay on that, and if I wanted to change the setting, now I'm looking at it here, and it has hours, minutes, seconds. That's how this is set up, hours, minutes, seconds. So you set that where you want it to go, and once you have everything that you want, you just hit OK on each feature. Then basically you hit the start button, and there she goes. And it's going to fire every 5 seconds for this display, and you can hear it firing. And it really works well. Now down here is a number count. So when you're doing your settings, now I set this particular project for 100 pictures. And every time it fires, it's on the countdown now. And as you can see, it's at 97. We'll let this run for a couple seconds and let you see how it operates. So as you can see here, the counter is, every time it takes a shot, the counter reduces itself by 1, and then it'll run its way all the way to 0, and then it'll stop. And to stop this, if you wanted to stop it prematurely, you'll see just like you would on a video, you see the forward arrow and the pause arrow. You just hit that, and that stops the shooting, and the time lapse is stopped. And then if you want to keep your settings and keep everything to where nothing gets moved, hold the light button and hold it down for a pretty good period of time, and then you'll see a lock come up. Now that lock will not allow you to run or change anything in this intervalometer. So when you want to get ready, this is where you want to lock it in, and so you don't accidentally change the settings while it's being traveled, because it's running all the time. You can't shut this thing off. That might be a bad thing. I'd like to be able to have Polaroid somehow to be able to shut this thing off, but it runs all the time, and I'll show you the battery mounting of this here in just a couple minutes and how to replace the battery in the intervalometer. But anyway, you lock it into place, and once you see the lock symbol up here, it's good to go. So when you're ready to shoot, again, you hold the L or light button down for about 3 or 4 seconds. You'll see it unlock. You can see the delay is blinking, and all you do is hit start, and your intervalometer now is working. So it just took the shot, and then again you can set it up for an hour, 30 minutes, seconds, 1 minute, whatever you want to set the intervalometer for, and that's all done right here on this control panel. So it's really works well. When you're all done, you can either let the number of pictures run out or stop it, and it's now stopped. Okay, now we're going to remove the battery for the intervalometer. One of the first things you do is you go ahead and remove your camera batteries by, you'll see a purple lever right here. You just push down on it, it pops the drawer right out, and you pull your batteries out, no problem. Now, the intervalometer battery is set up right in here, and it has a little latch you push and pull back. And let's see if you can see that. Let's see, get this turned around. And there you can see the batteries exposed, and it's right here. Now to get it out is kind of a trick. Now what I used was, if I know the battery's dead, I'm going to use a screwdriver, put some pressure against the battery, and then just kind of drag it out. And that's how you got to do it. You got to pull it out, and you'll grab this battery here and just kind of pull, and there it comes out. Let me get this out here. And as you can see here, there it is. Now the replacement battery for this, if you need to get one, is it's a CR1620, and it's a little 3-volt battery. Now to reinstall the battery is really not that hard, but it's kind of a little bit cumbersome, but it's not that big a deal. And basically all you do is make sure that the plus side is towards you. You insert the battery back into its slot, and you'll see it right here. And you may want to do this with the battery grip off, but for demonstration purposes I'm going to leave it on. And then you just line it up, push, there it's inserted, shut its door, go back here. Now when you replace your battery, you're going to have to reset the date and time and all that kind of stuff, and then your intervals and stuff, because it will lose any memory it had in there. So you just kind of reset it, and it's not that big a deal. So that's how the intervalometer works and how the battery loads in the battery system. So basically, when you're all done and you're ready to shoot, you just reinsert your camera batteries in there, shut the door. You'll see your pilot light will come on, telling you that you have battery power. And basically, that's all there is to it. Well, that does it, guys. I tell you what, this thing, I'd love to give it a 5, but I can't give it a 5 because of the very substandard instructions that Polaroid put out for setting the intervalometer. I couldn't figure out what they were trying to say in that thing. The infrared remote is absolutely worthless, so that kind of knocked it down a little bit. But the performance, the construction, the side door battery mounting system, it far exceeds my expectations for a non-OEM battery grip. So I'm going to give this a 4-star rating. I'll tell you, I'm real happy with it. I know you will be too. And as we say here at Dale Simmons Photography Studios, happy shooting.